ScoMo blames China for the problem. But when you're paying a brickie $3 a brick, your costs are going up just as fast. Because there's nobody coming here from interstate or overseas for fear that they're riddled with the Rona.
Seems like every politician in the world has an opinion about climate change right now.
Yeah, they're all piling on because of that UN report. They're falling over themselves to condemn the fossil fuel industry, which they should, but they're all a little bit full of crap. Take Boris Johnson today. He's come out and he said this: "We know what must be done to limit global warming. Consign coal to history." Great. But British coal polluted the world for decades and made England the richest country on earth. It helped create the British Empire, and now Britain's leading the charge to stop India and Bangladesh doing the same thing. ScoMo blames China for the problem. This is what he says: "China's emissions account for more than the OECD combined." Well, yeah, mate, that's true. But it's because they've been burning Australian coal to help keep the lights on for decades. We've been profiting from China's pollution for ages, and now we're actually complaining about it. It's like a heroin dealer bitching about a smack addict committing a crime to pay for the drugs. There are 1,000 coal-fired power stations in China. We've kept them going. Our coal keeps their steel mills running. Guess what other made-in-Australia product is needed for those things? While politicians spent their third day wringing their hands over the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report, one of the world's most respected energy consultancies did a little mathematics. And this is what they found out. Worldwide steel demand is on track to rise by 23%. Exports of the Australian coal used in those steel furnaces is going to rise by 60%. And guess what year Wood Mackenzie says prices will peak for those filthy carbon-riddled commodities? 2050. That's the same year that we want to be at net zero.
That doesn't seem to make much sense.
Well, no, it doesn't. But there's an old saying in business that money doesn't lie. One of the richest people in Australia isn't banking on a slowdown in any Chinese steel mills. Chris Ellison's Mineral Resources has just booked a $1.2 billion profit. It's going to use some of that money to build FIFO camps that are more like resorts. These things are going to have Olympic pools, wellness centres, family-sized rooms, cafes, even creches. You don't do that kind of thing if you think your iron ore company is about to go to the wall. And there are plenty of other investors who are betting against the United Nations. The UN report that came out this week says unequivocally that fossil fuels are causing global warming at a faster pace than we ever imagined, that we must act now. That was Monday. On Tuesday, the price of Australian thermal coal, that's the stuff we've been digging up in Collie since day dot, goes through the roof. So at least some of the money reckons fossil fuels will be around for a while longer. And guess what? Scott Morrison and Anthony Albanese are quietly pretty happy about that, because Australia makes just shy of $100 billion each year selling coal and LNG to the world. We justify it by saying our LNG is cleaner than coal, which it is. And then we say Australian coal is cleaner than Indian coal, which it also is. But it's a bit like feeling good about selling a kid a packet of Winfield Blues because the next shop's flogging them Winnie Reds.
So will China change?
They are, but it's happening very, very slowly. Beijing doesn't want to tell some poor farmer in the western provinces that his power bill's about to go through the roof because they've just built this expensive wind farm down the road. They're really worried about the farmer then doing something like this.
So China knows it needs to keep producing.
Well, yeah, we need them to keep producing. Don't worry about the export income. The world needs the stuff they make.
So what you're saying is we just let them go?
No, I'm saying that if we're serious about cleaning up the atmosphere, we need to accept it will come at a cost. Stuff everywhere, including from China, will probably get more expensive. For some stuff, that's fine. It's crap that we don't need. We've got too much of it anyway. Other stuff we do, like steel, it's already really expensive. Some companies are even stockpiling it. You can't drive down a road in WA at the moment without seeing a truck carrying construction materials somewhere, and it all comes from China.
Good time to be a builder.
Well, yeah, it seems to be from some of the stories around. You got a situation where local housing industry stats show it's going gangbusters. James Hardy, they make building products. They're on track to make a killing. We've got glamour social pictures in the West Australian from a building company launch.
Yeah, that looked fun.
Yeah, but not everyone's having fun at the moment. Jackson Construction, it's been building in suburbs like Claremont for years, and it's refurbishing Forest Hall. That's a UWA dormitory in Crawley. Jackson's a big company, and it looks like it's about to go under. The subbies out there are walking off the job because they're worried they aren't going to get paid.
Riddle me this. How does a building company go under during a construction boom?
It sounds bizarre, but it happened to Pindan in May. In boom times, businesses look like they're in very good health because the order book's full and headline income's through the roof. But when you're paying a brickie $3 a brick, your costs are going up just as fast, and a cash squeeze is always on the cards. If you don't have the cash to buy steel, because those polluting steel mills that are ruining the world are charging so much, or James Hardy's stockpiled it all, then you can be in real trouble.
Back up a bit. $3 a brick. Are you serious?
And a cash sign-on bonus. We don't have enough tradies to lay bricks at the moment, but the Premier and Sue Ellery were out today talking about a new training centre for hospitality and tourism.
That we'd invest about $17 million in some upgrades. So today we're able to start work on this important project.
This is on the same day that the WA Tourism Council says everyone's going under because there's nobody coming here from interstate or overseas for fear that they're riddled with the Rona. Guess who else we're training at this new $17 million TAFE in Mandurah? People to help out builders like Jackson who are feeling the skills pinch, maybe chippies, concreters, roof carpenters? Nah, hairdressers. Apparently there's a shortage of hairdressers in the Peel region, in places like Rockingham. No wonder Mark McGowan wants to leave. We can't stop a brain drain in Rocco, and we're trying to be the tech capital of the world. Atlassian's Mike Cannon-Brooks makes some good points about Perth muscling in as the new Silicon Valley, but there's some stiff competition here. Seriously, every city in the world wants this title. We are so far from where we need to be. Think of the biggest tech success stories in recent memory out of Australia. It's called Canva. A couple of kids from Duncraig get a DIY graphic design platform going. It goes nuts. It's worth $20 billion. They had to go to Sydney to make that happen. The only way the Tech Council Australia, the new thing they've just created, gets Perth on the map is if the mining companies and the energy companies actually back it. The resources businesses on St George's Terrace are genuinely good at this stuff. They're doing things in remote ops and robotics that NASA can't do. So we need the iron ore and LNG companies, the ones making the money from China's pollution, to do us one solid. They might even make a buck out of it. I'm Ben Harvey.